And no, you did that to yourselves by state. Oh my God, the Democratic Party supporting former President. Yeah, the Time magazine admitted it that was you guys. It wasn't Russia. Undermining public coincidences in the electoral process and exacerbating social political divisions in the U.S. Unlike similar efforts that took place during the 2016 elections, officials said there was no persistent efforts by Russians last year to assess critical election infrastructure, including voting machines. The Biden administration on Wednesday also announced sanctions aimed at Russia in response to poisoning Alexei Navalny, a prominent Russian dissident. Oh my God, we're gonna go to war. I refuse to go to war with Russians, so please don't invade us, Russia. I'm sorry. I mean, if you come here and you start, I'm gonna have to stop. Please don't make me defend fucking Joe Biden. Please, just please, don't make me defend that senile. I apologize. I shouldn't have to apologize for him. I mean, I probably should have because my people aren't fighting back against this, even though I've been talking about it, but we're gonna end up world war. We're gonna end up like Civil War, World War, Cold War, Chinese War, Economic War, Fifth War, never-ending war. When Biden was talking about not coming out of Afghanistan, like this is just leads to war. This is not how you unify the world into one world union. This is not how you do that type of crap. By alienating other countries. You have to sit them down at the table. Even in Star Trek, even in that glorious, beautiful future, they understood the value of respecting cultures and they didn't agree with because it was somebody else's culture and they had no right to say they couldn't be that way. As long as you don't do, as long as you like do unto others, as long as you don't do unto me, I'm not going to do unto you. Like that was the prime directive, bruh. You can't reach your like communist, socialist, Star Trek utopia if you don't even understand your own directives. This is for the stupid idiots fall out in this crap. I mean, the elites know what's going on in it. It's not the Star Trek utopia that all these idiots think it's going to be. I don't know where we go from here, but we certainly do have to repair relations with Russia because we can't afford to be going to war with Russia when China's doing some suspect. Oh my fucking God. I wonder where we go from here. Only time will tell. But all I know is it's going to be a fucking party. It's definitely going to be a fucking party. I'm just saying. All right, moving the fuck on to talk about fucking China. We were just talking about this a little bit when we were talking about Russia, but fucking what the fuck is this garbage? Check this. Let's just get into this because words can't really do justice. Democrats, Republicans hope Biden will take a harder line on Chinese summit begins. As the Biden administration holds its highest levels meetings with China since taking office, it enjoys broad bipartisan support for taking a top stance towards Beijing, but also faces skepticism about whether the talks bring real policy changes. All right, so President Joe Biden, who Chinese President Xi Jinping has called an old friend. The Chinese president, mind you, the leader of the Chinese Communist Party, is called him an old friend, finds at the crossroads in U.S. policies as top officials gather in Alaska for 2-day summit. American public opinion is overwhelming because both Democrats and Republicans now describe China as a dire threat, pushing legislation to impose more sanctions in Beijing over human rights abuses and protect U.S. companies against Chinese trade policies. Well, hopefully you actually can do that, but I think it might be too late. The Biden administration plans to use the rare consensus as leverage when the Secretary of State Antony Blinken and National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan meet Thursday and Friday in Anchorage with China's top diplomat Yang Jiechi and Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi. So, like, yeah, we're meeting with fucking China in our own fucking country. If China is such a goddamn problem, I'm not saying that we can't meet with them and try and come up with a diplomatic solution, even though I don't think that's going to work. We should pursue all avenues, but it should have been on they shouldn't be here. We should have went to a neutral location. Come on, this is fucking old school fucking fight politics 101. Senior administrative officials said that the U.S. plans to outline some specific areas where China must take steps to change course before the relationship can move forward in a substantive way. The chief points of tensions from the U.S. side include China's increasingly aggressive military posture in the region, cyber intrusions, intellectual property theft, trade, and human rights abuses, including actions in Hong Kong and Beijing. Yes, that's good, but what about fucking the China virus? I want to continue reading, yeah. Of course I want to continue reading. Why wouldn't I want to read the whole goddamn thing? But now that this has interrupted me, we can't allow what's going on in Hong Kong consistently. If we believe in our values, then and we said never again, and they're harvesting organs and Uyghur Muslims, and they're stepping in and taking. We have to do something. We have to stand up on succeed or fail. We have to hold what we believe to be true, or we're fucking hypocrites. Okay, what we're looking for is more than words. The senior administrative official said Biden's officials and lawmakers in Congress say that they're looking for some saying from Biden. Then Biden ain't going to do anything to fucking China. The new administration has, in some of the earlier guidance, elevated China, so it's there, at least on paper, senior intelligence office, and Chinese military capabilities. So I'm hopeful that we don't spend a lot of time continuing to diagnose the problem, but we start to get active in executing solutions. Too fucking late. Too little, too late. Senator Marco Rubio and Wednesday been China strategy is something that bears watching, and his fear is Beijing will lure us into a deal that we think is so important that we can't have China walk from it. And then they'll start insisting on us to stop talking about Hong Kong, stop talking about Taiwan, stop talking about the Muslims labor camp, stop talking about these sort of things. And we can't do it. I can't believe this is true. President Trump, we can't allow this type of to continue. It's 2021, and all of humanity, and this is not just Americans. I'm talking to you, the British. I'm talking to you, the French. I'm talking to you, the Germans. I'm talking to all of you. Didn't we say never again? Well, it's happening again, and it's not happening again hundreds of years down the line. It's happening in your lifetime. And what are you doing about it? Absolutely nothing, because you're worried about raising your children. But what's it matter about raising your children if you raise your children into a totalitarian hellhole? What kind of life are you leaving? I can get into that all day long, but let's continue this. President Trump brought unpredictable to the world stage. Biden does not, and he's dropped some of his presidential harsh language towards Beijing while picking up a hard line on human rights, but he hasn't dropped the Trump policies. Trump's conferred tariffs are good. For instance, remaining in place, you got to give Biden credit with because that's good. Hopefully that stays in place. The policy that others are still under review and administration, still even current senior administrative officials who served in the Obama administration can see that the problems in the U.S. relations with China stretch back farther than Trump. Of course it does. It goes back as old as dirt. We inherited a very challenging situation from not a previous, but going way back. When was it? I can't believe people even thought it was Trump's fault. In the run-up to the meeting in Alaska, the Biden administration sent an unmistakable signal to China that it would take a tough line in Beijing and back up U.S. allies in Asia. During a visit to Japan, Blinken warned against coercion and aggression by Beijing and vowed that the U.S. would push back if necessary. Defense. Good. I'm glad I'm hearing this. Follow through with the words. Because we know these guys like to talk the talk, but they never walk the walk. John Blinken for talks Japanese counterpart to Tokyo cited the actions of East China Seas. They're making it very, very clear that they don't trust China. Of course, nobody trusts China right now. The messaging is from George W. Bush's era. The message is symbolizing by Biden's administration this week with high-profile visits to staunch U.S. allies, Japan and South Korea, appeared to aim at conveying to China that there would be no return to a more conciliatory tone employed by the former Biden, and Washington would rather rally allies to confront Beijing, according to. I don't know if we want to fall into Thucydides' trap, but the face-to-face talks in Alaska are not going to be a love fest. Of course, they shouldn't even be in Alaska. We should be in a third-party neutral location. Senior administration officials briefing reported that in advance the Anchorage meeting said that they don't anticipate the policy pronouncement after the meetings, which described as one-off, beginning a dialogue process with the Chinese. I'm glad to see that this is starting to get headlines, though. Please don't be fake news and actually be doing something about it. Something about it, not like something stupid that fucks us in the ass. Chinese key issues. Now it's getting into the coof stuff. We're not going to continue reading this. You get the gist of what's going on. China is out of control. And it's not the Chinese people, so stop the Asian hate crimes. It's the Chinese Communist Party. There are people in China walking off of buildings trying to kill themselves, being caught by nets because their government bags. It's totalitarian fuckery from a fucking Chinese government, not the Chinese people. So please stop the hate crimes. But we got to do something about the CCP because their fuckery, we can't allow it to move forward because we said never again, and never again means never again. I'm just saying. All right, and here we are, the last segment of the day, and we said it was going to be a random current event, and I found this whopper of a doozy. 21 states are suing the Biden administration over some of the decisions they've been making. Let's get into here and see what kind of fuckery is happening in our government. States sue Biden in a bid to revive Keystone XL pipeline. So they're trying to revive the pipeline. Attorney generals from 21 states on Wednesday sued to overturn. That's somebody needs to take this to the editor. Overturn President Joe Biden's cancellation of the contentious Keystone Pipeline, XL pipeline from Canada. And this is Associated Press, it looks like. Yeah, Associated Press. Whoever the senator there. Led by Ken Paxton of Texas and Austin Cookson of Montana, the state said Biden has overstepped his authority when he revoked the permit for the Keystone Pipeline in his first day in office. Because the line would run through multiple U.S. states, Congress should have the final say over whether it is built, according to the lawsuit filed in U.S. District Court in Texas. Construction on the 12,000-mile, 19,300-kilometer pipeline began last year when former President Donald Trump revived the long-delayed project after it had stalled under the Obama administration. It would move up to 830,000 barrels, 35 million gallons of crude daily from the oil sand fields of West Canada to Steel City, Nebraska, where it would connect to other pipelines that feed oil refineries in the U.S. Gulf Coast. Why don't we just build refineries near this crap and not move it anywhere? Be more efficient. That would have been smart to be with. Biden canceled its permit over long-standing concerns that burning oil sands crude would make climate change worse. Some moderate Democrat lawmakers also have urged Biden to reverse his decisions, including Senator Joe Martin of West Virginia and Senator Joe Johnson I can't even speak fucking today of Montana. All right. First of all, lefties, let me school you here. If we were to end fossil fuel use right now, we would condemn millions of mostly non-white people to a life of misery, poverty, starvation, and squalor, because the green energy methods are not capable of pulling people, of developing them. It's not capable of it. We don't have a better alternative right now, and so there's nothing else we can do about that. And it's not really the energy generation that's the problem. It's the constant use of the stuff. So it's the storage of that energy. It's the battery technology. If we could store more of that energy in a more efficient battery, and we didn't lose as much of it to like thermodynamics and other fuckery that the laws of physics happened, we wouldn't have to run our power plants or shit that as long as we run them, because we could fucking store it up and we could turn it on like once every 2 hours, or whatever the fucking case may be, and we could be more efficient in that bitch. It's a more complicated problem than you can. And now you can say that we already got this battery technology that's going to be this lithium-ion battery as well, other batteries, but that you got to do that with, we got to use bauxite to mine that, and that's being mined by African slave children. So that's not really a solution now, is it? The world is not as clear-cut as you think it is, and it's not as easy to just buy into something that you want to be. It's just not. I'm sorry. Whether it's good for the environment or not, I'm not going to sacrifice a bunch of African children so I can have a better battery and my cell phone don't die as often. I'm not willing to make that fucking sacrifice. And I'm glad that states start